The Uptown neighborhood lies on Chicago's northeast side. It is comprised of a diverse cultural background, and there is no ethnic majority in this community. The income for Uptown households is between $27,000 to $35,000 a year. That's $20,000 less than the median income for the county.
So, in order to do any kind of art project in the neighborhood, you have to be able to partner with really strong neighborhood organizations that already have a mission to interact with the community, that have different constituents that are part of that organization. And so we went to neighborhoods where we knew the organizations and what they were doing already.
So Circesteem's mission is to unite youth from diverse backgrounds, that's economic, racial, and cultural, and help build self-esteem and confidence through the practice of circus arts. Well, we want to make circus accessible to everyone. We believe that all kids have the right to come and have fun with us, and that everybody could benefit from having self-esteem be boosted and connecting with one another. So we're able to serve our mission in a variety of ways. We run a free after-school program Monday, Wednesday, and Friday called Homework and Circus Work, where we pick up kids from their school, we bring them to our organization, we provide an hour of homework assistance and an hour of circus, and then we take them home. And those students typically are from low-income, at-risk neighborhoods, and many of them are recently arrived refugees from Africa, and we have partnerships with Heartland Alliance and Refugee One. So they refer kids to our program. Uptown is one of the most diverse neighborhoods in the Midwest. There are so many different languages spoken in this community, and there's actually 13 languages spoken in our circus. So we have kids from Egypt and Ghana and Togo and Tanzania and Ethiopia and Mexico and Germany and Argentina and Burma, who all come to our program every week. And they have the opportunity to really connect with people outside of their community. And I think that it goes both ways. So kids from the public school or the private school get to come and meet kids from other places in the world and learn about that. But I think in general, Uptown is a community in transition. There tends to be a lot of low-income housing here, but there's also a lot of gentrification going on. And so more and more condos are being developed, and there's quite a bit of tension, I think, in this community. And being able to provide a safe space for our students to go after school is really important. And I think the students from Uptown particularly benefit most from what we do, because we are so close and they can walk here, and we have programming 4 days a week. Our approach really is about just trying to keep them involved as much as possible. The more that they're with us, the less likely they're going to get into trouble. And so we try and keep them engaged. I think Buddha was a concept none of them knew about. Who or what is this? It's just some strange head. And so I think it piqued some curiosity for sure, and allowed the teachers to talk a little bit about the sculpture and what it may represent.
I grew up around Chicago, mainly the suburbs, but I've been familiar with Argyle and so far that my family's here. My grandma, and my mom came here from Vietnam. I saw one in front of the bank on Broadway, and it was within a more open space as opposed to this one, which is behind a storefront. It was a different environment, although it was the same Buddha. I think that one had two, this one is just one.
Was there a difference between seeing them in an open space and behind closed glass?
I think so, just because it's using a statue that it's almost a mold, that it almost like recalls plaster, that there's something like a motif about it, that it's like I've seen it before, or at least there is a familiarity, but I think it does change it within a context. I think oftentimes with religious art that it is within a practice or a ritual, and then sometimes if artists take advantage of that, if it's in a gallery space, it changes that context, like if it was a museum versus a gallery. And I think that it does seem that this artist is aware of those different nuances.
I'd like it to make an impact what they feel, I think, depends on their experience, because everyone brings their experience to the viewing. And so, but I think the purpose of art is to make an impression, to get people to think about something, and hopefully they'll think about peace, about some way that they bring that into themselves and maybe spread it around, So that would be my hope, that that it impacts them in some fashion, as opposed to just passing by.
There was one other that I saw in the parking lot by the Argonne Theater, which in my mind felt like a really strange place for it because it didn't belong to anybody. And one day there was a lot of garbage all around it, and the next day the garbage was gone. And so I think the community is really taking to the sculptures and taking care of them in a way that may not normally happen with other pieces of art.
Lisa Hollis Sawyer, a colleague in our department, and I are teaching a service learning course in the spring. So we were approached about possibly figuring out a way to see if this public art piece was evoking sort of the feelings that endear thought. So we're not interested in sort of the philosophy behind the presenting the sculpture, but seeing if there's a difference before and after the sculpture is placed in a public place.
I think there's been a kind of a sense of ownership. There was a footprint on the Buddha one day, and a person just walking down the street came in and said, "I want to clean it off. Do you have something I could use?" And, they said, "Sure. Don't worry, we could do it." And they're like, no, I want to do this. Like, I want to show respect to this sculpture. And, they gave them some cleaning solution, and they cleaned it off. I think, again, the community really can take ownership of something and feel pride, which is great for this community in particular. I think all communities really, but this one needs it.